Good evening. Coming up tonight, we'll fill you in on what's happening in and outside the Palmetto State.
Hear how South Carolina members of the House voted on George Santos' expulsion from Congress.
And Gamecock women's basketball are bringing back a popular series for season ticket holders.
And later, hear about how you can celebrate a snowy winter on Greene Street.
We'll have all that and more tonight on Monday Night Mashup.
Welcome to this week's Monday Night Mashup. I'm Hailey Brown.
And I'm Delaney Flanagan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
This past Friday, New York Republican Congressman George Santos was expelled from the U.S. House of Representatives. Looking closer to home, all but one of the South Carolina members of the U.S. House members voted to keep Santos in office. South Carolina's lone Democratic representative in the House, Jim Clyburn, was part of the 311 votes that voiced to kick Santos. While the other SC House members voted to keep Santos in, not all necessarily agree with his actions. Republican Representative Jeff Duncan acknowledged that the allegations damaged Santos' reputation, but do not constitute expulsion. Duncan said, quote, "The clear congressional precedent of the past 160 years is that the bar is conviction of federal crimes after a trial before a jury of one's peers. That hasn't happened yet," end quote. Santos is the sixth member in history to be ousted of the U.S. House of Representatives, but is the first member to be ousted without first being convicted. Santos has pleaded not guilty to his indictment on 23 federal crimes, including theft of public funds used for Botox treatments, trips to casinos, and adult websites. A recent House Ethics Committee report outlined these actions and declared them as federal crimes, which was the tipping point in Santos' expulsion. This follows two previous attempts to remove Santos from Congress. One this past May and one last month were both unsuccessful.
Looking on campus, the Hauling Special Collections exhibit will be displayed on the main floor of the Thomas Cooper Library for only one more month. Quote, "To tell the secret of my nights and days, LGBTQ+ history in South Carolina and beyond," end quote, depicts the queer history of the University of South Carolina. The exhibit features old newspaper articles from the Gamecock, historic letters and photos, magazine spreads, and books dating back to the 1820s. Students at the University of South Carolina have advocated for LGBTQ+ rights openly since the 1970s, even hosting a Gay Pride Week in 1983, which was years before any other Pride event in South Carolina. Michael Weisenberg, Associate Director of the Irvine Department of Rare Books and Special Collections, says, "These events are, quote, shadowed by periods of repression and backlash, reminding us that efforts to achieve a more just society rarely move in a single direction," end quote. This collection is reflective of a larger lens of queer history, showing that no matter where or who they are, no LGBTQ+ individual is alone. The exhibit is open during Thomas Cooper Library's normal business hours of 7:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. through the month of January. Admission is free for all. Now, I visited this exhibit earlier today, and it was really, really impactful, and I really enjoyed it.
I'm so glad that the library has presented this to the students because this history is so, so important.
And now, SGTV weather reporter George Bagwell is in the studio to give us the weekly weather update.
Thank you, Delaney. Tonight in Columbia, it's 41 degrees with a 7-mile-an-hour wind gust. Although you couldn't tell that looking at my outfit, I often sacrifice my body for fashion. We've got the moon out today, a little bit of cloud coverage, but moon's still there if you want to take a look up in the sky. It's there. Humidity around 68%, so it's not really a wet one today. UV index of 0, no sunscreen tonight. And then about a 5% chance of precipitation, so no umbrellas. Tomorrow, we got 51 degrees in the morning. You want to take your dog for a walk, cat for a walk. If you got a leash, it's got legs, walk it. Afternoon, getting out of classes, 61 degrees, sunny, nice t-shirt weather. That's fantastic. And in the evening, we're going down to 54 degrees, a little bit of cloud coverage. Should be nice. Weather this week, we got Tuesday. It's going to be a little bit mostly sunny. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Take advantage of that while you can. Wednesday, it's going to get down to 30, but no chance of precipitation. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your opinion on snow, there will be none. Sunday, it's going to be raining. Perfect day for a little bit of a little bit of precipitation. Looking around the state, got Greenville, that's Rock Hill. Rock Hill is going to be around 60 degrees. Near the islands, Hilton Head, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, anywhere between 62, 63 degrees. In our beautiful Columbia, we got 63. Absolutely beautiful. After the break, SGTV sports anchor Karenna Porter has the update for all things Gamecock athletics.
Thanks for sticking with us. On the hardwood, Gamecock women's basketball picked up 2 ACC road wins in the last week, defeating 24th ranked UNC 65-58 and Duke 77-61. Still undefeated, the 7-0 Gamecocks come home to face Morgan State this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And the dates for the popular series, Chalk Talk, were released today. Each Chalk Talk will feature guest speakers and one of the Gamecocks' assistant coaches, and they are only available to season ticket holders. The Chalk Talks will be held before games against Presbyterian, Mississippi State, and Georgia. On Saturday, December 16th, Sunday, January 7th, and Sunday, February 18th, respectively. The talks will begin an hour and 15 minutes prior to tip-off and will be held in the Frank McGuire Club. Moving to the pitch, Gamecock women's soccer player Catherine Berry was named a Division I Women's Soccer All-American, United Soccer Coaches announced Friday. The senior forward led the team in goals, assists, and points. Berry also finished second in the ACC in shots and third in the SEC for goals. Berry's 33 career goals placed her fourth in the Gamecock record books. This All-American honor is the first in Berry's career and the 11th in program history. USC has had at least one All-American recognized every year since 2013. This year's All-Americans will be recognized for their accomplishments at the United Soccer Coaches All-America ceremony and reception on January 13th in Anaheim, California. And now, Popielarczyk is in the studio to fill us in on local entertainment. What's the talk of the town, Allie?
Thanks, Karenna. To close out the semester, Gamecock Entertainment has some on-campus activities for students this week. For Thursday After Dark, you can experience a snowy winter on Greene Street. Filled with snowball fights, games, and music, all students can celebrate the end of the semester from 6 to 9 p.m. If the snow's not your thing, then consider taking advantage of a free midnight breakfast with University President Emeritus and other staff members this weekend. Stop by the Pavilion in Campus Village to enjoy a delicious meal anytime from 10 p.m. on Friday to 12 a.m. on Saturday. If you want to learn more about either of these events, make sure to check out Garnet Gate for the scoop. For all music lovers, there are plenty of concerts this week that you can look forward to before heading home for break. You can make your way down to Colonial Life Arena to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra for their 2023 tour, The Christmas Ghosts of Christmas Eve, starting Friday at 3 p.m. If you enjoy ballet, head over to the Koger Center on Saturday for the South Carolina Ballet's performance of the Nutcracker at 7:30 p.m. From Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m., check out the Student Choreography Showcase at Drayton Hall filled with all dance styles. You can get your ticket at sc.universitytickets.com to support your fellow USC students. After the commercial, Delaney and Hailey will return to finish up tonight's news wrap.
Thanks for staying with us. The United Auto Workers Union is heading south with hopes to revive campaigns in Republican-controlled states after securing huge wage increases with Ford, Stellantis, and General Motors. The union plans to organize a BMW plant outside of Spartanburg and a Volvo plant outside of Charleston. South Carolina is the state with the lowest percentage of unionized workers, as it is a right-to-work state, meaning that employees can opt out of unionization. The emerging presence of the UAW in the South has the potential to be shut down by Republican state leaders such as Governor Henry McMaster, Senator Tim Scott, and former Governor Nikki Haley, as they have all expressed opposition towards unionization. Governor McMaster responded to the new UAW campaign, claiming that he will, quote, vigorously defend each and every South Carolinian's right to work and prosper, and to do so free from interference or control by the big labor unions, end quote. Historically, the South has had a small automotive manufacturing presence, but now foreign-owned auto companies are flocking towards the region. There are few existing auto plants and other workforce competitors in the South, making the region attractive to automakers as the labor markets are fresh and have the capacity to employ the thousands needed in auto factories.
The Noma Warehouse Arts community hosted their first annual gingerbread making competition this weekend, leaving a festive mark on Columbia. Noma partnered with Davis Architecture to raise money for Rapid Shelter Columbia, a project that helps individuals experiencing chronic homelessness in the city. The gingerbread houses were put on display during the Noma Flea Market on Friday, where the public voted for the house that would receive the People's Choice Award. On Saturday, the winner was announced at a ticket holder only cocktail party. Santa's Sweet Shop, made by the Sweet Shop SC, won the Judges Award, and the Gingerbread Barn, made by Seed Architecture, won the People's Choice Award. All proceeds from participation fees, cocktail ticket sales, and donations went to Rapid Shelter Columbia. Now, I think this is such an amazing way to not only bring the community together, but also just to help each other.
And not only was it beneficial to the homeless community, it also looked quite delicious.
That wraps up tonight's edition of Monday Night Mashup.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtv@usc.com. For SGTV, I'm Delaney Flanagan.
And I'm Hailey Brown. Have a great night, Carolina. Forever to thee.